I mean, Jay-Z's on a whole nother level. Like, I mean, you know, he's like, but you know what I like about 50? 50's on a whole nother level, but he's still approachable. You still get to meet the people and you know, Jay got to remember the people that made him. You know, I'm not saying I don't got respect. I respect Jay-Z, 50, used to respect, you know, Diddy, but all that crazy But, you know, I always respected him because I looked at, for New York, those...
Tension continues to grow as Beyonce appears to be preparing for a major turning point after 50 Cent announced plans for a follow-up documentary examining long-standing power structures within the music industry. Quiet alliances and behind-the-scenes loyalties are now being questioned, while attention is shifting toward figures who once seemed beyond criticism. As public opinion continues to change and pressure keeps building, more people are asking what comes next. Will Beyoncé redefine her direction, distance herself from the controversy, or take a step back to protect her legacy as the industry faces what many believe is a...
Don't give you the trophies. I got the checks. I didn't get the trophies. Like, Jay got all the trophies, man. That's because he signed that contract.
What contract?
The one with Beyonce. If you don't sign, you don't give him a trophy, she ain't coming.
Oh, the Beyonce done ran down on you once, Fifth. Come on.
Oh, she did worse. She jumped off the thing, off the ledge. I was like, I didn't really know what to do. That's the Jay. If he says the Jay in his face, he'll look at you and go, nah, that happened.
So Beyonce jumped down on you.
He jumped down. Oh, she was like on a windowsill.
Right.
We was in Vegas. She said, come on, I'm talking to her. She jumped out. She was like, and I'm like, wait, what is she doing? That stuff, that's me and Jay-Z stuff. This ain't got nothing to do with you, girl. Don't come on.
So Hov wasn't there?
I'm talking to Jay.
Talking to Jay.
As soon as I talked to Jay, she jumped down, came over. I said, oh, look at this.
They about to jump you.
You lucky Solange wasn't there.
Yeah, you lucky Solange wasn't there.
Solange was there, I would have had to reboot. Huh? What?
So what did B say, or she was just staring at you?
Nah, she came like she was ready. Like I thought something was going to happen. And I'm like, yo, whoa. She's throwing me off now. Because I don't know exactly how to respond to this. You are still Beyonce. Uh-oh. I'm seeing all this stuff going. She goes, what is this guy say? I'm like, wait, what happened? I look at Jay, he goes.
Reports suggest Jay-Z understood that public attention could eventually shift toward him, but few expected the amount of material reportedly connected to the recent documentary series. Its release sent shockwaves throughout the industry, with claims that much more footage exists and that additional projects are already being prepared. According to public statements, 50 Cent has hinted that the archive behind the scenes is extensive, fueling speculation, concern, and serious conversations among some of hip-hop's most influential figures. Whether all of that material will ever be released remains uncertain, but one thing is becoming clear. The era of quiet behind-the-scenes stories may be coming to an end, and the industry is
50 Cent coming out confirming that he does have more dirt on Diddy that he didn't even get to put in the 4 episodes on the Netflix Diddy documentary. And since it's 50 Cent, it's so hard telling what in the world he all has, but he said this in reference to the video footage that he got of the man recording Diddy before Diddy went to jail. And on top of all of this, he said more people came forward to him with allegations that didn't even make it into this Netflix Diddy documentary. And he alluded that he is about to drop this all on YouTube. He sat down to explain some of this on the Sherry show yesterday, and she said, it shocked a lot of people to see this personal footage of Diddy. I know 50, the way you run. This cannot be all that you have. Is there other stuff that has not been shown? He said, yeah, well, there's some stuff that couldn't make it in because there was only 4 episodes in the Netflix Diddy documentary. And then Sherry asked 50 Cent, does this mean that there's going to be a part 2 of the Netflix Diddy documentary? And he said that he's just going to put it on YouTube. This was not the only time in this interview that this man said this. Like, he is sure on YouTube for whatever reason, and he was even laughing about it. And in my opinion, I feel like why he wants to put this on YouTube is because Netflix probably wouldn't let him put in certain things because of liability. I think this is one of the main reasons why some of the things weren't talked about in the Diddy documentary. But like I said, also, he is cut down to a certain amount of time. Netflix gave him 4 episodes, so he has to put everything in those 4 episodes. And she asked him, out of all of the people that were coming forward, have there been any new tips that you have gotten since it's been released? He said, well, yeah, everyone starts to feel a little more comfortable when they see other people telling their truth.
The long-running rivalry between 50 Cent and Jay-Z has influenced public conversations for years, shaped by their very different approaches to influence and leadership. Despite setbacks and resistance, 50 Cent repeatedly rebuilt himself, returning stronger and more focused each time, while the tension between the two continued quietly in the background. Now, as discussions evolve and long-standing power structures are being questioned, the focus has shifted away from personal rivalry and toward legacy and influence. The contrast has always been clear. One philosophy is built on control and exclusivity, while the other emphasizes resilience, growth, and helping others succeed, suggesting that true strength is measured by how many people rise along.
Jay-Z's on a whole nother level. Like, I mean, you know, he's like it, but you know what I like about 50? 50's on a whole nother level, but he's still approachable. You still get to meet the people and you know, Jay gotta remember the people that made him. You know, I'm not saying I don't got respect. I respect Jay-Z, 50, used to respect, you know, Diddy, but all that crazy. But, you know, I always respected him because I looked at, for New York, those were like the, you know, the guys. You know what I'm saying? The guys with the most money and the most influence. So with Jay is like, when the last time you haven't seen Jay. So I think people are just going to say that. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I mean, Jay, you know, you got to remember, he didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl. That was crazy. I'm like,
wait, Jay didn't want 50 at the Super
you didn't
Bowl?
Know that? Yeah, he didn't want.
I remember Eminem pushed for it.
That was some haters. Yeah,
I remember Eminem was like, I'm not going to do it unless 50 does it. I heard that.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that Jay was trying to stop it.
I don't think Jay. I don't know. 50 never told me that, but I don't think Jay wanted him there. I don't know.
Because of what? Some of the.
I mean, you know, it's competition. You got to think. 50 always been competition for Jay. Remember, I'm about $1. What the 50 Cent?
That was a long time ago.
That was what, 9? What? Was that 9?
But after that, they did a song together. Remember the whole,
the whole 50 was always competition. Then remember Jay said, yo, 50's coming. He told Siegel and them and Memphis Bleak and all them.
Yeah.
And come on, 50's like, he's on a whole nother level. You got to remember, he came after Jay and Rockefeller. G-Unit came, and people might on G-Unit, but with Eminem, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, nobody has outsold us, bro.
Yeah.
Nobody has had the effect that we.
For years, rumors have circulated about influential circles operating behind closed doors, witnessing far more than the public ever sees. But what continues to drive the conversation is the silence that often surrounds power. Stories involving private gatherings, blurred boundaries, and unspoken awareness have raised questions about accountability and influence at the highest levels of the entertainment industry. Whether out of loyalty, caution, or self-preservation, some influential figures remained close while controversies unfolded elsewhere, choosing silence rather than intervention. As public scrutiny continues to increase, the discussion is moving away from sensational allegations and toward a deeper examination of how influence, silence, and responsibility intersect when fame clouds the truth and power challenges character.
Morgan said it, they're not here to defend themselves. Do you think the Carters will speak about any of this? About
Beyonce
what's going on?
is losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day, and she still hasn't said anything. Just pretending like life is great in Paris.
Is it her place to say something?
I mean, probably not, considering she's gonna be indicted for anything she would say. These are criminals. Diddy is a drug dealer, and so is Jay-Z. The proof is there. How many people does he have to be aware of before people see him for who he is?
It seems like these artists are trying to run away from their past. Diddy changed his name multiple times to say, that's not me. I'm trying to move beyond Diddy. I'm love now.
What kind of love? Baby oil love? Baby love? Explicit love, hey!
What concerns many observers the most is the broader discussion surrounding power, influence, and the way young talent is shaped inside an industry where personal boundaries can easily become blurred. Long-standing rumors and secondhand accounts have fueled ongoing debates about imbalance, control, and environments that may normalize questionable behavior over time. When success arrives at an early age and guidance comes from powerful individuals, perspectives can develop in ways that become difficult to separate later in life. As these conversations return to the spotlight, attention is shifting away from individual personalities and toward the system itself. one that too often places fame and protection above accountability, leaving lasting effects on
people in the industry, been around for a long time, was there when he first started dating Beyonce at 17, 18, he was 30-something. You didn't know his age. When I look back and see how old Jay-Z was, I think Jay-Z was born in like 69 or 67. Something like a 67 right there. 69. I think he was born in 69. Beyonce, they said she was born in 81. You understand? But back then, in 81, when we was in the club together, 98, 99, she wasn't even supposed to be in the club, but she was in the club. It was Club Eugene's. And Jay was dating her. And at that time, if you look at Jay's age, he was about 30 years old. So, isn't she still somewhat a child? To me, she is. But I guess they protect child. That's how you protect a child. You know, dating her at the age of 30-some years old and she's 17, 18 years old. If that's her true age. We really don't know her true age because Gabrielle Union said she went to junior high school with her, and Gabrielle Union is considered 6-7 years older than Beyonce age that she getting. So we really don't know.
To understand why many consider the situation so serious, people often point to how young artists entered environments shaped by enormous influence and unchecked authority, where protection sometimes appeared secondary to ambition. Several high-profile names have become part of these discussions, not necessarily as direct targets, but as examples of a system that repeatedly failed to protect emerging talent. As scrutiny continues to grow, concern is increasing among industry leaders, not because of rumors alone, but because greater transparency could encourage many unheard stories to finally come forward. If that moment arrives, the conversation may become less about blaming individuals and more about confronting a culture that allowed silence, imbalance.
Has been warning us about Jay-Z. Jay-Z has now had an official lawsuit. It's everywhere. It's now being talked about louder than ever. I guess, does that give you some peace to know that people are finally really questioning this man?
It's emboldening me. I spoke on Piers Morgan. I said that I had 3 victims that I've been working with, victims of the Carters, that were ready to come forward. This might help them feel a little more confident now. So this is great because he's been evading. But the thing is, everyone in the backdrop knew that he was the celebrity John Doe. Everybody knew that. They knew it when I did Piers Morgan.
Is Beyonce celebrity B?
I hope to God not. But she was around. And she's very... she's got enough on her plate. After everything that happened with the election and everything that's happening right now, I'm not going to dump on that woman. She got better fish to fry.
Well,
what I will say is that her husband, she knows exactly who he is.
Yeah.
She knows. She knows.
Jean described both men as having a strong understanding of power, influence, and leverage long before the public fully recognized it. What separated them, however, was the way each chose to operate within that reality. One embraced visibility, remaining outspoken, highly active, and constantly in the public eye, while the other relied on careful planning and discretion, working quietly through boardrooms, private conversations, and trusted networks. By staying away from public spectacle while remaining close to institutional influence, he positioned himself where power was exercised quietly, protection was strategic, and authority could be maintained without attracting unnecessary attention whenever situations became unpredictable.
Man, is that Diddy used to hate Jay-Z. He hated Jay-Z enough when he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay-Z. This is back in the early 2000s.
Did Diddy always say negative things about Jay around you?
The time when he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay, yeah, he was. They worked it out.
Was there a reason behind it?
I couldn't tell you the reason behind it. It was probably because Big had died
I don't know what it was, man. I don't know why he wanted Ja Rule to go at Jay. I guess if he kept them beefing or kept them into some bullshit, he could rise up in between both of them. You know what I mean? It definitely was.
Gene explained that this strategy is exactly why Jay-Z has rarely been seen in vulnerable or high-risk situations. His approach has consistently been deliberate and carefully planned. While Diddy expanded his influence through visibility, public relationships, and constant appearances, Jay-Z chose a different path by limiting access, maintaining distance, and selecting his moments carefully. One strategy relied on exposure and personal connections, while the other depended on restraint and precision, demonstrating that influence can be built just as effectively through patience and distance as it can through constant visibility.
That, Jay lawyer came out with about how he wasn't really friends with Diddy. From your point of view, was they really friends or no?
How close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his ass, and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z. Now, I don't know what kind of statement, and I can't say, I wish I could say half a homo, but I know I can't say it. But I don't know what kind of half a homo that is. And you trying to say that you're not close to somebody. You coming on stage, patting them on their ass, and then you making a broad statement to the public, can't nobody call me Sean but Sean Carter. And I heard Jay-Z said the same thing about them. But they were so close that they had matching white girls together. Because when they used to see each other, they used to say, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? He'd be like, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? So I guess that's a certain type of close.
There was one major misstep in Jay-Z's otherwise carefully managed rise. Some believe it was aligning too closely with the wrong circle. That association is now receiving renewed public attention. Relationships that once appeared strategic are being reevaluated as public interest grows and long-standing alliances come under greater scrutiny. What was once viewed as mutually beneficial is now being questioned for its long-term consequences, showing that even the strongest empires can feel the weight of decisions made years earlier when circumstances change and accountability becomes part of the public conversation.
I go, oh shoot, like
that's right. To us, Black excellence.
I had to be there.
We getting tighter, you know what I'm saying? And united we stand, and ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. It's a billionaire brunch.
Oh,
like,
I hate you, man.
Unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year. Yeah. Come on, bro.
That's right.
Look, when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. Mm-hmm. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those
wondering what you're talking
about. Trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career, if you look at his career,
You're gonna let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he ain't show up.
He had like 20 now.
Oh, Lord.
He had like 18 since he been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He was one. He got them shit. He's like drinking. His pictures with him. Thinks the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades. Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
For those closest to the situation, placing trust in the wrong ally may have become the most costly mistake of all. Relationships, once built on mutual benefit, are now reportedly falling apart under increasing pressure. What once appeared to be loyalty is now viewed by some as a liability, with the effects reaching professional circles that were once expected to provide protection and stability. As scrutiny continues to grow, one pattern appears increasingly clear: self-preservation often comes first, regardless of who may face the consequences. During moments like these, alliances begin to break apart, reputations are tested, and the true cost of misplaced trust becomes impossible to overlook.
Really screwed over Mark Agnifilo. I gotta say, this is awful that Diddy owes his life to Mark Agnifilo, literally his life, because he could have gotten life in prison were it not for Mark Agnifilo, his defense lawyer, who had a brilliant strategy. And Diddy screwed him over when he hired this videographer to chronicle his life without telling Mark Agnifilo that when Diddy and Mark were on the phone, this videographer was recording what Mark clearly expected to be an attorney-client privileged relationship. Now, it is true that the client holds that privilege. The lawyer doesn't. But Mark's clear expectation was that this was a private conversation. These were private conversations, and that he and Diddy could talk openly, and Mark could talk to Diddy not just as a client, but as a person, and tried to guide him in a time leading up to his arrest. And unbeknownst to Mark Agnifilo, Diddy has got this guy recording the conversation as he's sitting there saying, "You are screwing this up. You are messing up this case. We're losing." And knowing that that's on tape. And it's almost like he's performing for the camera and not telling Mark what's.
Reports suggest that efforts are currently underway to stop the release of an upcoming documentary, with concerns being raised over how certain materials were obtained and whether they should ever become public. In response, representatives on the other side maintain that all of the content was acquired through legitimate channels and originated from a long-planned project that was never completed because of internal disagreements. What began as a creative dispute over ownership and compensation eventually opened the door for outside involvement, transforming previously unused material into a powerful narrative. As these behind-the-scenes conflicts return to public attention, the situation highlights how unresolved business decisions and broken partnerships.
Yo, boss. Yo, man, how 50 get? Blah, blah, blah. Yo, Puff, take this out on that. Let me explain something to y'all. All right? Whether it's NDAs, whether it's whatever. When these young boys come in, first of all, he only deal with young videographers because he want to rob them, and he know that they want the opportunity to follow Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. They want that opportunity. So they get him at a low price anyway. But when you stay out so many hours a day, Puff wants a videographer with him 24 hours a day on call. Whether we on a yacht, whether we on a ship, wherever we at, he wants to videotape that, right? So now, they come to agreement. They come to whatever the pay is going to be. But then it be so many hours on that invoice that he don't want to pay. He gets in touch with the office. He gets in touch with the chief of staff. Yo, what is this I'm paying? What is this I'm paying? You know what you paying. You was outside all of these hours. It's 160 something hours in a week. You was outside 140. That's the invoice he put in. So now, being if you got a contract and he don't stand to that contract, guess what happens? He could do whatever he want to do with that footage. So now that footage goes to the highest bidder. And 50 had to be the highest bidder to get there. Yo, this is business. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't in love with you. Everybody ain't dedicated. Everybody ain't loyal to the point of stupidity.